Okay, so wait, in terms of that, I have like an inner question within myself. I think that like black pill is often goes to like apps like Tinder because of course what you first see is like your face and how you look and maybe in the bio like your height, for example, but in the real like face-to-face market, the rat pill is really really better because for example in my opinion like the black pill doesn't offer you anything in the game and those are facts. Nothing game and energy brings a lot to the table, but the black pill doesn't really exist. So what do you think of that?
Wait, in the what market? So did you
I,
say that the online market was mostly black pill, but you said that in another type of dating market, then the red pill is applied more?
I'm saying that in like apps like Tinder, for example, you should act black pill and you should think black
Yeah,
pill, but on like face to face dating
face to
interactions should be
face.
red pill.
Yeah. See, you mentioned a couple things there, such as like, your energy. But even when we talk about things like this is what a lot of guys don't really understand about the black pill, is that all of these other factors, like whatever it is, all of these red pill beliefs, social status, energy, your mindset, like you'd be surprised that even these are like massively interfered with and controlled by your looks. Like there's studies out there that show, like if short guys are much more likely to be bullied as children, and think of the, effects on that person's mindset is going to have on him. Um, he's not going to be as confident. He's like not, he's not even going to have positive energy. He's going to have a more negative outlook on life. So even when we, like even if these other factors are at play and do carry significant weight, it always goes back to looks. Like you can't ever forget that. So I just wanted to like throw that out there as just, a caveat point to when people do say about these other factors.
But the thing is, like, I don't think that everybody was like less good looking is bullied, and those are facts as well. I don't like, for example, I'll take myself as an example, but I don't know if I'm the perfect example. I'm like 1 meter and 80 centimeters long. So I'm like 5'11, 5'10, something. No, maybe larger, I don't know. But I'm like, I'm tall and I don't know how I look. I think I look pretty good. But the thing is, I never got bullied and I don't see like the black pill as a real scale of how you are perceived by the people. Like I think the red pill in my like in my mindset in my game helped a lot better in terms of how I approached things because game was for me at least a real play. Like without game, I probably would not get my girl, for example. That's how I see it. But of
Mm.
course, as I say, like body, how you look, your height plays a factor, as we say it.
Yeah, so I think the difference between where we agree and disagree is the extent to which these factors matter. So like, I would put significantly more emphasis on those genetic factors, such as your height, your facial structure, and things like that. While you're, more pointing to the other things that you can change,
Mm.
but you are still acknowledging that, you're obviously that your height and your, genetic factors do play a role, but the role is like overstated by black pillars. Am I reading you correctly?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I will go deep into that more. That I
Mm.
think that height and face you cannot like there are some things that you cannot change, and if you want to go to sub 5 and explain it, it will be better. But I will say that I don't think that in our market you should really approach it only black pill because it's not the right way in my opinion. You should acknowledge it but not go thoroughly with it because it doesn't like the game and the personality thing doesn't exist, and I think it plays a role, not a big role but plays a role. Because for example, if I hold a relationship and I'm just jumping ahead a little bit, I think that personality really goes into play. And I think that when you go into the dating market, it only shows you how you meet a girl and how you having sex with her, for example. So yeah, what do you have to
Mm.
say about that?
See, I think you actually made quite a interesting point there. So you said you should acknowledge the black pill and its implications. Um, but I think the point that you was trying to make is that you shouldn't like go full black pill. Like in the respect that you should just, like say, oh, the world is going to the dogs. Like give up on dating. Like you don't even bother trying. Like, um, that's not at all what I'm saying. I just want to put that out there and make that clear. So I actually like, for the majority of guys, especially the guys in the middle of like the hierarchy, you know, the normie tier guys, if you're an average looks guy, average height, you know, without a terrible frame or anything else that's like causing you massively limitations, then like I think I'm like agreeing with your point that you should acknowledge the black pill, that it is going to have, you know, put huge strains like on your ability to date and you know, like find relationships and things like that. However, mentally, physically, and behaviorally, you should like be following the red pill. Like, and I think that's a big misconception with what a lot of people take from my content, that um like there's something like 15 hours worth of content on my channel, but not once have I ever say, oh, I'm against self-improvement. You should never strive to be, you know, like the best version of yourself or anything like that. I've never said that, because it's simply not true. Like, however, for those guys in the middle, like that's not true. I think if you are in the middle, then you should be looks maxing, you should be money maxing and status maxing, social circle maxing. You should like be trying to improve your life to the fullest, and as it will yield positive results in the dating department. However, I do believe that there are a subset of men who are in the like lower echelons of the attractiveness scale, whose genetics are just you know, causing them such big limitations that it reaches a point where the juice isn't worth the squeeze. And let's say if we take some guy who's 5'6" in height, he's halfway bald, and his face is like a 3 to 4 in looks. Like, is it going to be possible for him to, you know, find a romantic partner, like have a one night stand with somebody on like one random occasion? Like it could be possible, yeah. Like you're always going to have these exceptions. It's going to be like he could be the lottery winner who's the 0.001% guy who like is the exception to the rule. However, my argument is that the juice isn't worth the squeeze in his situation, and it's actually going to have more negative impacts on his life and particularly his mental health, because even if he does fully self-improve and improve his situation and like goes fully red pill and improves every area of his life, because his genetics are limiting him so much, then when he actually goes out and approaches women, it's going to be so brutal for him, and it's just going to be rejection after rejection after rejection, and the effect that that's going to have on his mental health, his happiness and well-being, the juice isn't going to be worth the squeeze, to in order to like have that 1 in 10,000 chance of a girl actually being the exception to the rule and finding him attractive.